I knew I had to fight. I had to take every ounce of weakness that I had in me and turn it into strength. And so I did. The minute I walked into the door, he took me by my neck and pushed me up against the wall and told me if I ever leaved again, he was going to kill me and cut my body up in pieces and put him in a minefield where he was working at an electric company. At that very moment, I knew that I couldn't feel bad anymore, and I had to go to the police. And I went to the police, and the first police officer I went with didn't believe me. And so at that point, I thought all cause was lost and hope was lost. However, Troy was on parole at the time, and so I reached out to his parole agent. I told him I needed to talk to him. He met me at work, and I told him my story. His parole officer took my story to the chief of police. Chief of police took me into the courthouse. I was interviewed by the DA to see if I had a sufficient enough story to see if I was believable. Luckily, they believed me. She took everything by her side and she fought for me, with me, tooth and nail. And I finally felt like somebody believed me, and I had a team of people on my side. I had a ton of questions. I was very confused on the lingo, the language, the laws, and she was able to explain that all to me during the process. And the Domestic Violence Service Center and their advocates were there during those court proceedings, and they were my voice. But most importantly, after he was found guilty, now we had the custody battles. You know, my abuser comes from a ton of money, and so I didn't have that money, but the Domestic Violence Services gave me the resources without having that money and still fighting for me, my safety, and my daughter's safety, and that's exactly what Rachel did. Had I believed that first police officer that I was retaliating against Troy and not done a second step, I wouldn't be here today. I decided to share my story because I'm one of the fortunate ones. I'm one of the luckiest ones to be able to survive. And because of that, I felt like I had a duty to help other women before they don't survive, so they can survive. Domestic violence is happening everywhere, and so anybody that's able to speak out and get help and leave the situation and be honest, I believe is brave. But I believe my biggest bravery moment was the day that I left and never came back.